But wait, it's time for the Insider Trading After Show. One of my favorite segments, our special guest on this edition, it's Craig Button, once again from Las Vegas, where he's covering the NHL draft for us. Craig, we heard the insiders talk about Steven Stamkos does not have a contract yet, does not have an extension with the Tampa Bay Lightning as we head into free agency on Monday. If he doesn't have a contract by Monday, would you be shocked, Craig? Would you be surprised that it had gotten to that point?
Yes, I would be. Would I be massively surprised? No, but I would be surprised. Steven Stamkos has played his entire adult life from the time he was drafted first overall in Tampa. He doesn't know any other organization. He's the captain, two-time Stanley Cup champion. And when you watch where the Tampa Bay Lightning are currently with their salary cap, and the fact that Steven Stamkos is still a really strong performer in the NHL, I just see a fit there. As much as maybe Steven Stamkos wants to go out and hear what other teams have to say, I ultimately see him as a Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to work to try to make sure that they can find a way to keep Steven Stamkos in the fold. It's not going to be an 8-year deal, but I think that much like the Evgeny Malkin deal that he signed in Pittsburgh, it was $25 million over 4 years, probably a little bit higher for Steven Stamkos. But I see an opportunity for Tampa Bay and Steven Stamkos to keep the relationship together for the foreseeable future.
Craig, Pierre LeBrun mentioned the fact that the Vancouver Canucks are interested in Jake Guentzel. That cannot be a secret. Jimmy Rutherford was interested in Jake Guentzel back around the trade deadline when he was available. So, you know they're interested, but a whole bunch of teams are interested. What is it about Vancouver that you think might actually be a good fit for Guentzel?
Well, I'm going to go right to the center that they just signed to 8-year deal at $11.6 million a year, Elias Pettersson. So Elias Pettersson has this big, massive contract, and a left winger that performs like Jake Guentzel would be the perfect fit. So you know that a player that can come in and get the best out of that player and get value out of that contract becomes a real priority for the Vancouver Canucks. Jim Rutherford knows Jake Guentzel intimately. Patrick Allvin knows him intimately. Rick Tocchet, the coach, knows how to coach him and knows him intimately. So, and Jake Guentzel knows those people, having been in Pittsburgh with them. So when you start to think about an excellent fit, and if the dollars are working together, I just don't see where Jake Guentzel could end up in a better spot. And I don't think the Vancouver Canucks could find a better player to play with Elias Pettersson than Jake Guentzel.
Craig, you released your mock draft on Wednesday. It's always entertaining, of course. Not a ton of suspense at number 1. We know that Macklin Celebrini's going to the Sharks. At number 2, you have Ivan Demidov, the Russian forward. A lot of good defensemen in this draft, Craig. So why did you choose to pair Connor Bedard with Demidov in this draft?
I think that Demidov is a prodigious talent. And when you watch the way he plays the game, he conjures up images to me of Nikita Kucherov. He very well could be the MVP this year. And I start to look at Connor Bedard and Ivan Demidov playing together, and that would strike fear in any opponent. You're trying to build your team. And much like Tij and Kane were so instrumental to the success of the Chicago Blackhawks, I believe that Bedard and Demidov could do similar things. And certainly there are good defensemen in this draft, and really good defensemen. But when we're talking about a mercurial talent such as Ivan Demidov, for me, I can't pass him up. That would be the player that I would be selecting if I were the Chicago Blackhawks.
Now, you do have, and maybe we can bring that draft board back, Kerry. We do have a couple of defensemen going off the board to Anaheim and Columbus, and then you get to the Montreal Canadiens, the first Canadian team on the board, and you have them taking Tij Iginla at number 5. And I love this idea, Craig. This is so cool. What is it exactly that makes you think that Ken Hughes and company will be intrigued by the Kelowna Rockets star?
There's lots of teams intrigued by Tij Iginla. let me make something very clear. I have no idea how the draft is going to unfold.
Right.
What I get to do with the mock draft is I get to make all 32 first-round selections.
Yeah.
That is a dream. So I get to look at the draft and go, I think this would be a really good fit for the Montreal Canadiens. Why would he be a really good fit for the Montreal Canadiens? Because like his father, he plays with an indomitable spirit, a great competitiveness, a will. He's smart. He can score goals. He doesn't let the game dictate to him how it's going to be played. He dictates that the game is going to be played at a highly intense and competitive level. Gets in and around the net. He can also make plays. His hockey sense is outstanding. And one thing I do know about the Montreal Canadiens, Kent Hughes, Jeff Gorton, and Marty St. Louis, they value hockey sense. But the Montreal Canadiens are all about winning. That is what their history has been. That's what they're trying to get back to. And Tij Iginla is all about winning.
Craig, this is so much fun. And don't forget, you can get the rest of Craig's mock draft as well as his picks for all the Canadian teams at tsn.ca. Craig, I hope you have a great time on the strip tonight. Okay, try to behave yourself, okay?
I always do.
I know you do, Craig. When we return, more Euro highlights.